Let's get some analysis from Bruce Wilson. He's the director of the Centre for European Studies at RMIT. What about that interview? That was extraordinary. The outgoing member for Stoke-on-Trent North, Ruth Smeeth, saying that her party was allowed to be perceived as the racist party and they've got to detoxify. What are the chances of that happening? Because I tell you what, there's going to be a lot of mourning for Labor figures off the back of this thumping defeat.
I think the bloodletting in the Labor Party will be very intense, and it will take a long time for Labor to recover from this result. It will be interesting to see whether Jeremy Corbyn resigns or whether he does in fact have to be encouraged to leave.
Well, it's hard to see that he would need to be encouraged after what looks like the worst result since, I think it was 1930s. This is the best result for the Tories since 1987 and Margaret Thatcher. If the exit poll proves accurate, and everything we've seen from Workington, Darlington, through to other seats like that one we just covered, Stoke-on-Trent North, it's all indicating that he is going to have a thumping majority in the House of Commons. How on earth would you think that Corbyn, how would he think that he could survive? It's extraordinary.
Well, I think that already the first line from the Labor Party is that this was about Brexit, and that Johnson's message of get Brexit done clearly cut through. All of the Labor constituencies that are seemingly now Conservative were Leave constituencies. So I think the initial response of the Labor Party will be it's all about Brexit rather than being about Corbyn or about Corbyn's policies. But undoubtedly, as the post-election analysis kicks in, those other factors, such as the radical kind of renationalisation, issues around anti-Semitism, they'll undoubtedly come under scrutiny also.
Well, it's been amazing to watch how many Labor people, prominent Labor individuals, saying that they can't support a vote for Corbyn, that he was untenable for them. So how on earth would you expect middle, the middle working class of the UK to vote for him when his own people some of his own people weren't willing to?
Well, the tensions within the Labor Party are not a surprise. They've sat there throughout this last 3 years because the Labor Party, by and large, has been strongly Remain, and Corbyn, of course, himself has refused to take a clear position on that, and many would say that he's in fact supported Brexit himself. So the fact that there are tensions within the Labor Party, that's not the issue. The anti-Semitism, yes, that's also been a big issue, and the intervention of the Chief Rabbi during the campaign period clearly had a significant impact also. It was a moment in the campaign. So I think, as I say, that bloodletting will be pretty severe, and it will take some time before Labor can start to re-establish itself. It's lost 4 elections in a row now, and that's bad news for any political party.
Yeah, and they can use whatever explanation they like, but he's been a complete failure, and the idea that he would get another chance is just beyond reasoning, I think, at the moment. But let's look at the other leader, and that is Johnson. A huge mandate here. He will deliver Brexit now, and renew relations with other countries around the world, including ourselves. The sense that he is Trump-like on the international stage is misplaced.
I certainly wouldn't be drawing that analogy myself. And let's be clear, what Johnson is now able to do is to get the withdrawal agreement passed. And as you imply, yes, on January the 31st at the latest, the UK will no longer be a member of the European Union. But in many ways, that's just the beginning, because the first question for Johnson will be what kind of future relationship does he want the UK to have with the EU? And those negotiations will now take centre stage for the period through till December. The withdrawal agreement has that 12-month period through to December 2020, during which the UK and the EU will have to sort out their future relationship. And if they don't do that, a no-deal Brexit is still possible at the end of December 2020.
But, the comparison of this quirky leader in Johnson to Trump is America first, he's isolationist in many respects. This is not the world view of Boris Johnson, the former Foreign Secretary. He's much more of an internationalist. Oh,
I think that's quite true. And he's certainly been clear that the motivation, as far as he's concerned, for the UK to leave the EU is about the new relationships that the UK can have as an independent nation with the US, Canada, Australia and others. But the nature of those options will all depend on the agreement that he, in the end, strikes with the EU, because insofar as the UK remains closer to the EU, the margin for moving to separate deals with other nations will be lessened. The further he is from the EU, the greater the opportunity for deals with others.
Bruce Wilson, appreciate that, Professor Wilson from RMIT. And, well, it's been a dark day for the British Labor Party, absolutely thumped in this election, and a great day for the Tories and Boris Johnson.